Hi everyone, what's up? Josh here, and I'm excited to share with you today what I believe is the cleanest coffee grinder I have ever used. Well, let's start with that big bold statement. Now, I've used a lot of home grinders, some terrible at cleanliness. Then there's this category of low retention anti-static grinders that's erupted onto the scene. They're better than the terrible ones, but still not without seeing some mess. And here's where I think the optional Lagom Casa does merit for the very first time to be in its own category of clean grinders. So stick with me as we explore the specs, the pros and the cons of this grinder. And if you like this video, then like this video and certainly subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more up-to-date reviews and coffee tips. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk specs and see what makes the Lagom Casa stand out. This grinder's designed with a minimal, sleek look. No extra frills or fussy controls, just pure polished functionality. It's got a sturdy aluminium body, large simple opening to the hopper, and a curved anti-popcorn screen inside, and this hopper holds a maximum of 30 grams of beans. The hopper also doubles as a grind adjustment with a stepless, smooth change going from fine to coarser grinds. Directly below this, you'll find the grind knocker switch. This taps out any loose grounds in the chute after grinding, removing all stubborn grounds. Now, for those of you who have been battling retention in your grinders, the Lagom Casa really might be your clean grinding solution. And why should we care about low retention? Well, for those of you who are new to the term, it basically means no stale coffee grounds sticking around from your last grinding session. You want today's coffee to taste like today's coffee, right? And it's also anti-static, meaning that there's no more coffee particles sticking around the grinder where you don't want them. And unlike some grinders in that low retention category that still leave a little bit of debris, this one actually lives up to the hype. Now let's check out the burrs. The Lagom Casa uses 48mm conical burrs that are a slight variation to the popular moonshine burrs created by Optional. These are Meissen burrs, aimed at providing the best performance for medium to light roasted coffee and what lends itself to that flavor profile. Think clarity, light, bright and sweet. Now these burrs spin at a slow 140 RPM, further assisting in less heat created and better quality grinding, at the expense of some speed to grind out a full dose. However, this thing just looks like it means business. The catch cup, it's magnetically aligned and it holds around 40 grams of beans, so you're never going to miss a dose. And it's also compatible with 58mm portafilters for ease of transfer when making espresso. So let's now just grind out a dose on an espresso setting. I'll have it at, what's that, 6.5 almost? And I've got a 20-gram dose of espresso beans here, and we'll see how loud it is and how long it takes. Now, one of the things mentioned about this grinder, which I think is great, is RDT isn't necessarily needed. And there's just such little retention and such little static on this grinder, you don't need to go an RDT. I mean, you certainly can. It's not like it doesn't help a little bit, but I also notice with RDTing, if you overdo it, the top mushroom here where the anti-popcorn screen is, I don't know, beans do tend to stick up on this a little bit with RDT, and they don't when you don't RDT. So I feel like the benefit that you get from RDTing versus is negotiable when it comes to the beans sticking up in the hopper. I just prefer them not to stick, so I'm not gonna RDT. And I always get my dose, so win-win. All right, let's grind out. I always do a hot start too. But you don't necessarily have to do a hot start. Haven't had any problems with stalling on this grinder. It's quite a powerful motor, 250 watts. And as you'll see in a moment, it also has an auto stop function. So once the motor realizes there's no torque against the motor or beans in the burrs, it will automatically stop. So it stopped grinding and it will stop motoring soon. There we go. Oh man, it smells chocolatey. Check out those grinds. Always a nice removal. There's a super smooth surface inside the catch cup as well. So the grinds always come out. There's no like little nooks and crannies in the bottom of this catch cup where you're trying to get out the rest of the grinds. Always comes out nice and clean as well. And the Lagom Casa is an all-purpose grinder, which means you can grind from espresso all the way up to cold brew. So with that in mind, here's my recommendation for grind settings for particular brew methods. For espresso, to mocha pot, for AeroPress, and then for a single cup pour over, to a larger pour over, to a French press, and cold brewing. All right, here's what's great about the Lagom Casa. Starting with the undeniable clean factor of this grinder. It doesn't just keep your workspace neat, it saves you from wasting coffee. And if you're anything like me, that's a huge win. Every gram goes into your brew and it's not stuck in the nooks and crannies or spread over your bench. Next would have to be the build quality. Now, I kind of liken this thing to like a Star Wars blaster or something like that, but honestly, Optiono have never faltered. This thing is like a sports car for home grinders. The aluminium body, the well-designed burrs, it means it's not only durable, but it also keeps everything nice and cool when you grind. And let's talk versatility here. The Lagom Casa can handle pretty much anything that you throw at it. So for those of you who like to switch things up a little bit and go from espresso to filter back to espresso, this is a huge advantage. This super smooth grind adjustment means you're not locked into any one particular brewing style. However, cons. I'll keep this brief because honestly, there isn't much to nitpick, although I know that like every grinder isn't perfect. If I had to call out one thing, it's that this grinder doesn't come cheap. It's not overly expensive, and it is aimed at the less expensive end of the market. However, it is an investment, and it could be a little bit quicker, no doubt about that. However, we are only weeks away from the Optiono Lagom Casa that comes with 65mm burrs. So hopefully this alleviates the speed of the grinding. Now, if you're just starting out in your coffee journey, this might feel like a big splurge, but for those of you who have been in the game for a while and you know what you're looking for, know that you are paying for absolute quality here. Now, how does this beauty stack up against other grinders that are out there? If you've used any of the standard low retention grinders, you probably know the routine. They are cleaner than old school models, sure, but they are still a little bit messy. Compared to the Lagom Casa though, those other grinders honestly feel like they're still playing catch up. This one, I feel, has the edge, and it keeps your coffee corner looking fresh and saving every last ground. And furthering on, as one of the best parts to the Lagom Casa is its easy tool-free disassembly. Yeah, it means there's no need to search around for a screwdriver or a hex key. Here's how you keep this beauty clean and performing at its best. First things first, power off and unplug the grinder. Then dial it all the way coarse. You'll feel it gradually loosen up until it clicks. This is the funnel disengaging. Remove the funnel, and with the funnel off, you'll see the upper burr carrier in plain sight. Gently lift out the upper burr carrier, and then the burrs themselves in here stay put, so you won't be taking apart the entire grinder mechanism. It's just enough though to get access for a nice thorough clean. Use a small brush or a vacuum to get out any lingering grounds that might be in there, but regular cleaning at 6 to 12 month intervals keeps the Lagom Casa operating smoothly, giving you that clean grind experience it will be known for. All right, wrapping it up. If cleanliness, precision, and versatility are on your list, the Lagom Casa is a serious contender. For the right coffee lover who is ready to make an investment, this could be that grinder that changes your coffee game. Whether you're into espresso, pour over, or something else, it will have you covered. And it's going to look pretty sleek while doing it. And would I recommend it? Absolutely, especially if you're tired of messy grinders or wasting good coffee. So if you're thinking about it, do take the plunge. This one's built to last and delivers a clean, consistent grind. Thank you so much for sticking around, everyone. If you have any questions or thoughts on the Lagom Casa, drop them in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your experiences. And until next time, keep grinding, stay caffeinated, and let's make every cup a clean, fresh start. Take care.